And I Googled the words customer at the heart of the organisation. And in 0.2 seconds, it gave me 206 million results.
Customers are becoming more demanding, they're becoming more sophisticated, they're becoming more diverse, and they're becoming more hedonistic, is probably the right word. So our job, my challenge is how do you respond to that? Because no matter how many millions of customers we have, it comes down to those little moments of truth. And every one of those moments is a moment either to delight or disappoint the customer. And it's very real, very immediate. So our challenge has been how do we respond to that external changing environment and how do we make it effortless to deal with O2? I love what I do and it's constantly changing. That's at the heart of what we have to do well.
I think for me that's what marketing is all about. It's understanding the customer better than anyone else and seeking competitive commercial advantage from that understanding. The best in the field that we've observed actually say it and do it. And they never stop talking about the customer, whether they're the CEO or the brand manager, the customer is in every sentence.
I think the non-political answer is you're going to get to a point and you will have a CEO and you'll have a finance director and they will be talking about the difference between looking after what is right and looking after what is on the bottom line of the P&L. And it's your choice then to work out, do you want to save your career or save the customer? and that's the big thing that you've got to work out. The people that keep fighting for that, keep driving for that as a marketing, as a champion of the customer at the boardroom table are the ones that will grow businesses.
I mean, how bad is adult education just generally in terms of, think of the coffee that you get served, let alone the quality of what your mind is being fed. We had no idea that we were wandering into this landscape of just poor learning. We do not stop learning the minute that we leave school or leave university. These should be high quality, incredible experiences and they should be transformative. So actually 10 out of 10 isn't good enough for us. We want to hear people say that changed the way that I look at the world.
The principles still stand, which is understand their needs, perhaps anticipate their needs, be very clear that there are not 25 million customers who are all exactly the same. Be very clear there are very different groups, some people will call them segments. And it's not age related, so each customer group has quite different needs, quite different history with us. So we've got to get more and more sophisticated. So we've made really good progress of making it easier to do business. So again, back to the website, we completely turned it upside down as everybody else has done in the room. The ability to purchase a phone has gone from 12 clicks to 4 clicks. Well, that's important because people are time poor.
We all spend a lot of money on market research and we'd all like to think that we're pinpointing exactly what it is. I feel summed it up. I think it's for who you want to talk to, you make sure that who you're talking to, you're sending the right message.
But I think in the world that we live in right now, it is true that one detractor on social media can just outweigh a million positive experiences.
I think the other thing that goes hand in hand with great customer focus is great colleague and staff focus, that all the best people that obsess about customers and cherish their staff too. And the last thing I think they do is that they build customer focus into their values, into their way of working, into the way they describe things. Head office at Sainsbury's is called a store support centre. It's not just saying it, it's weaving it into the infrastructure of your business.
Who else is there but your customer? And even I can't imagine us even using that word, if I'm honest. We talk about human beings. They are having an experience with us as a brand and as human beings. If we called them a customer, we never would have guessed that they were afraid. And they're very afraid of learning something new and that is really challenging. But by calling them human beings, we realised that we were having to facilitate a journey that was really, really scary for people.
I think there's also, I think collectively we've got a job to do. The people that are in industries where you put the customer first, and in doing that, the customer first then drives you on to growing the business, and then the growing the business drives the profits. That's when the magic happens. And I think it goes right back to the beginning. It does take the bravery for someone to do that. But it's about collectively having a belief, but also collectively we've got a communication job to do.
You're either curious about customers and you have the humility to listen to consumers and customers all the time, or you don't. You can learn it, but you can't fake it. If you don't like your customers, you shouldn't be in business.
Cilla and I, we spent all our time talking to clients about the customer and how important it is that they think about the customer and what businesses do themselves. And I think that for me, some of my learnings around this sort of geeky obsessiveness to data and understanding and constantly learning and thinking about human beings, not just having customers at the heart of everything that you do. And the way that we need to look at that customer journey, we need to think about marketing and the partners that we've got and not go beyond the kind of net promoter score and look at the excellence that's in the marketplace. I don't know how many of us are going to be doing a video now and going out and making sure that we understand that customer journey. I love the idea of taking somebody and experiencing that and doing things like Yak, and whether any of us are brave enough to do radio shows. But you know, for me, all of that pulls together a bunch of really rich stories around how to make the customer different. Well, I think you've been a 10 out of 10 panel. Thank you very much.
The panel were great and the conversation was really interesting, but personally the highlight for me has to be Kathryn Parsons, partly because she started at Ogilvy, so she's one of us, gone out into the big wide world with her partner, one of her partners, Richard Peters, who was also at Ogilvy. So it's a personal highlight for me to see how fantastically well Kathryn and Richard and Steve and everybody have done with Decoded, what they've done with it, where they're taking it.
Tonight has been great because I'm passionate about customers and you spend a whole life at work thinking about customers, and it was really good just to hear how difficult it is but how successful it can be when you focus on customers.
Two things always bring me to the club events. I think firstly it's a great opportunity to network with the other attendees, and I mean that in the most positive sense of the word. It's always really stimulating conversation and a great opportunity to make connections that you otherwise might not make. And I think, as always, the panel is a top-notch panel of professionals who offer money can't buy perspective, and it's just a great opportunity to soak up perspectives from colleagues to take back to the ranch and ponder on. I think personally tonight for me was a reminder of things that are really easy to forget. I think it's one of those topics where you think, put the customer at the heart of the business. Sounds obvious, but unfortunately so often forgotten in our businesses. And I think Cilla Snowball's words really resonated for me, which is, if you can't love your customer, then you shouldn't be in business. And actually I think that's something that perhaps a few others in our business might need reminding of every now and again.